So I can't speak for every guitar player out there, but for me, the metal is definitely like the genre that got me into playing the guitar. Particularly Metallica. Metallica is the band that really got me into playing guitar. The first 4 albums primarily, and then Nirvana. Nirvana was the band that made me get into like music in general, but it was for sure Metallica that got me into the guitar specifically. I still have the Nirvana poster right there from when I got when I was like 13. But yeah, you know, metal, because of my interest and like my background or my history with metal, I just feel like everything is better in drop tune. So I decided that what I'm gonna do is I'm going to record a bunch of my favorite riffs and like some of my favorite solos and stuff, record them in C# standard, and then also do it in E standard. And then I'll just kind of like judge where the songs are from there and like whether or not it's actually better. Because I'm not too sure if it really is. It's like one of those things with guitar where, you know, you feel like there's a big difference, you know, like it just feels like there is. And like same with equipment and many other things, you know, it's like it feels like it's the case, but oftentimes it's just like vibes, you know, it's just like the way it makes you feel. It's not so much the way it truly sounds or the way it truly is. So the first one, you know, obviously the Killing Road solo from Megadeth. I feel like there's like sections of it where it does actually kind of sound better, and I feel like when you're up in like the higher notes, that's like the part of the song where I feel like it actually kind of does serve the solo or the song to be in a higher tuning, because it just seems like the higher notes, they sound better in standard, and I'm not too sure why that is, but they have a better sound. But one thing I will say is that I feel like when you're in a lower tuning, you obviously need heavier strings, but it's actually much easier to pull the notes out of intonation, and that's a problem that I've had, where like you have to be just a little more mindful of the fact that you know, you can pull the strings out. For instance, just that slight difference there on the F, that's an F power chord. If I just put a wee bit too much pressure with my pinky even, so obviously like it's easy to pull it out, right? It's easy to pull that out of tuning. And I find the same thing with the bends as well. Like if you're not used to a lower tuning, it can take some getting used to. I guess you could compensate with even heavier strings, but I feel like at a certain point you're almost going to need like a new nut to do that, because the strings are going to be so much thicker than what your guitar is built for. I was surprised when I did the them bones thing. I was surprised when I did that because I actually kind of liked it better in standard tuning. I mean, the one section, like, whoops. Now I would be in drop D, but I feel like that part actually kind of, I don't know, it just sounds, I figured it would sound better in the drop tuning, but it didn't. I feel like it actually sounded better in standard tuning, which is different than what I had expect. And it wound up being the same thing with Damn That River too. I did another Alice in Chains song, and it's a great riff from a great album. Really just a great song completely. But that was actually when I discovered that issue there with the tune. It's so easy to pull that out of tuning. And you know, I kind of found myself enjoying it a little bit more with the solo as well. I think the standard tuning actually kind of served it a little bit. But ultimately, I was pretty surprised by the fact that you know, it just, I actually kind of did like the standard tuning. I did like the sound of that. But that being said, like, am I going to go back to standard tuning now? I don't think so. Even though that, like, I think standard tuning, you know, it's easier to play a lot more popular songs and stuff, I still think there's a bit of a difference. But one thing this video didn't include is I didn't do like clean. I didn't do like clean stuff. So I think, you know, that's something that, you know, you have to keep in mind, that maybe the clean has a slightly different vibe. By the way, if you're looking for something to practice, I recommend learning the triads. You can get my triad cheat sheet. Well, I like mapped out all the triads in every position on the guitar. That way you can learn like the chords all over the guitar. It's really helpful for, you know, for like memorizing the notes of the fretboard, and also just giving you like a toolbox for understanding chords a little bit better, and also giving you a way to break out of shapes rather than constantly doing that constantly. You know, it just gives you a way to kind of break out of that pattern. For instance, you know, you can use some triads for solos and stuff.